Hey everybody, and welcome to a new video on E.Stampley art. In today's video, it's going to be a little bit different. If you've been watching any of my more recent videos, you know that I've been really getting into card making, and I think it's also become a little bit of an obsession, and I might need to get some help soon. But I figured this was a nice way to kind of showcase some of the cards I've been working on, and just, you know, a different type of art craft that I have been kind of trying to develop and hone my skills on. Also, I want to preface this with saying that some of the ideas for my cards I got from, you know, searching on the internet, so I don't want to take any credit away from any of those artists out there who have done these cards that I have been influenced by, or to say that I'm trying to copy them. Most of the time, actually, if you do search, card making, they're trying to teach you how to do things, for yourself. So that's what I did. I used them as inspiration and influence. Also, I am not a professional card maker. I am merely learning the craft as a hobby and fun activity for myself. I have some cards here to actually, physically present, and then I also will be showing some photos that I took of some ones that were one-offs that I've already given away to people, so I don't physically have the cards anymore. So with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoy this card showcase, and let's get started, shall we? So here's one of the first sets of cards I was going to show you, and these were done for Valentine's Day. And this one I kind of came up with on my own after I sketched it out, and I just, cut out a bunch of different little hearts and colored them. I stamped out the different hearts and then colored them in, and then had to cut them out to put them and glue them on here, and just used a little stamp for the love you. This one I got inspiration from a video I saw where somebody did something similar to this. I think they might have used, I don't know if they used a heart or a star or something for the big gigantic cutout, but I loved that idea, and I was like, maybe I can try it. I have since found some supplies and that would have made doing this a little bit easier than what I did, but I loved how this turned out. But yeah, it took a little bit of time to do, having to stamp all these different hearts, with these different colors, cut those out individually, which I did by hand, and then kind of attach them in a shape that I then ran through a die cutting machine to get this, and then hold it on there to put it on here, to then put the little foamy sticky things on the back of them. Yeah, so it took a minute. It took a minute to get it done, but I mean, I really love how it turned out. Here I'm putting together some mass-produced cards that I did for my coworkers for Valentine's Day. I basically did a big red heart, textured red heart out of some paper, and then there were two kinds. One that had the silver glitter heart in the center of the red heart, or the white heart that was embossed with like a dot geometric pattern on it. And all of them had the pink floral strip that was behind them. And the Happy Valentine's Day sentiment is done with red embossing powder. So here's a couple of Easter cards that I did. To be honest, they are not my favorite, but it's also probably because I had to create them in such a rush that I didn't really completely plan them out. I do kind of like this one. It's very clean, monochromatic, obviously, a little bit. I just wanted to use the pure white and then the silver with the Happy Easter. But yeah, I just kind of die cut these out and put them on this textured cardstock. And this is a wood grain cardstock. It's actually really, really nice paper. I got this in a card making kit that I presented in a video on this channel. I will link it up here if you guys want to check that video out. This one, I'm okay with it. I mean, I like the Happy Easter die that I did in 2 different colors. That's really pretty. I did watercolor and then had these die cut eggs to cut out. And then I embossed this cardstock and then cut it out so it would be kind of like a little window. Yeah, I'm okay with it. You know, it's not my favorite. So here's a card I did for a friend who was leaving and moving out west. Just wanted to make a little, you know, farewell card and stuff for her. Colored in a butterfly with some markers and die cut it out. Tried to make clouds with die cut out circles. Did a stamp in purple on the front, and on the inside, which I think you can see in one of the photos, I did a embossed colored background for the inside of the card that also had butterflies on it. Here you can see a very simple happy birthday card I did for a coworker. Basically did just a standard kind of like white card and embossed a purple sheet to go on the front and stamped and colored in a happy birthday sentiment and cut that out by hand and added some little purple gems to kind of match the embossing background on the front. And here are the Mother's Day cards that I did for my mommy this year. This card is actually inspired by the card that is on the back of this stamp, this layered stamp set of this rose, and I really liked it so much, so I was like, I'll just make that. So I did an embossed red background, and this is a piece of vellum that I have on here. This is actually a kind of purple black embossing powder that I used. I do love myself some embossing powders, let me tell you. This is actually the first time I've used a layered stamp die. Still trying to get the hang of it. I think it turned out pretty well. It has some little white spots where you didn't get the color, but actually I kind of like that. It gives it a little more, I don't know, gives it a little texture and stuff, so I actually don't mind it very much. This card I actually kind of came up with on my own. Originally it was all supposed to be white back here, and I left it kind of overnight and it just was bothering me. And so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go in and just kind of add a little bit of texture and a little bit of color to it, just to kind of make the mom part pop out a little bit more. I'm looking at it through the camera and it actually looks better on the camera than it does when I'm looking at it in real life. Overall, this one it doesn't seem very complicated, but it took a minute, especially to get these dies and stuff out and to do the little stamping and everything. But yeah. So here's another card I did for a coworker. Did kind of like an embossing strip on the side and fussy cutted that out. It was kind of like an ombre blue to white colored paper. Did some gems on the side, as you can see, to kind of match the yellow of the lemons that are on the front. And speaking of the lemons, they are from a lemon themed stamp set that I got, and I've been wanting to use them, and I felt this was a good opportunity. Basically stamped out the lemons and the branches and the leaves, and then used some markers to color them in. Ink wash on the tops and the bottoms, and also on the inside of the card, just to give it some more interest and some more color. So I also made a envelope to go with this. Found some lemon themed graphics online, printed them out and cut them into an envelope for the card to go into. Here's a fun little flat card I actually did for a coworker's little boy who was graduating, I believe out of I want to say preschool. So I made him a little happy graduate button that he could wear, that I attached to the card. Found the graduation hat online, cut that out, and just, you know, I have a happy graduation sentiment, cut that out in a ribbon shape, and I had some star stickers and used a, white gel pen to give a little more interest around the hat, kind of like confetti. And also made a custom envelope that was white with kind of gold on the interior to go with the card as well. And lastly, I wanted to present these to you, and they say Happy Father's Day, and you're probably like, what the hell is that? For me, I have my single mother, and she has raised me on her own, and I always have celebrated her on Mother's Day and Father's Day because she is both to me. So I just always have tried to either get cards or different things and kind of manipulate them in the past for Father's Day, hashtag Father's Day. But you know, sometimes it's easier to find cards, sometimes it's a little harder. But now that I'm doing card making, I can make my own custom cards. So that actually made me really, really happy this year that I could do what I want to do. You know, I don't have to try to manipulate a card that I get from the store. So that's awesome. This is one I came up with on my own. I wanted to do the Father's Day, the happy up here with the stamp, and then the day down here. In my head, I was originally going to have the letters just go across, like in the very middle between the happy and the day. But when I started laying it out, one, I cut the letters because I hand cut these out, drew them out and then cut them out. I didn't use a die or anything. And they ended up being a little bit bigger than I thought they were going to be. So I ended up just kind of, you know, overlaying them and staggering them on the card. And I think it's actually more successful. Sometimes, you know, the mistakes make it better. And this one actually got influenced by when I did a Google search on, I think I did Mother's Day cards, and I saw some that were very similar and kind of followed that and just did my own interpretation of it. Used a die cutting machine for this, and this I just sketched out and hand cut out. And then cut out this butterfly, and then these little butterflies here are embossed. And then I love the little sticky embellishments that you can get to put on cards too. Those are always awesome. I'm really happy with how both of these turned out. And I've also, along with obviously the card making, because you got to put the card in something, I have been getting obsessed with doing the envelopes, and I even got some envelope templates. So you can put like the liners and stuff in it, which, I mean, the liner is just the thing that makes it. I mean, you don't have to put a liner in it. It just gives it, you know, that extra little oomph when you pull the card out and stuff. You know, some texture scrapbooking paper, then a liner. But yeah, I've added, you know, the envelope making along with my card making. And for those of you who have single mothers and single fathers, yeah, celebrate them on both days. I mean, they're really doing the job of both, and they deserve it. So that's my little PSA. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed this video and this little bit of card making art showcase. Just wanted to kind of give you, you know, a little taste of some of the stuff that I have been working on. Feel free, if you know you're an aspiring card maker too, let me know in the comments down below, what is your favorite tool that you like to work with when you are making your own cards. And obviously, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a nice thumbs up down below. And if you want to know about new videos when they're coming out on my channel, feel free to hit the notification bell or the red subscribe button, which should be down there somewhere. Of course, if you want to follow more of my artistic journey, you can always do so on Instagram or Twitter at E.Stampley Art. As always, I'd love to thank you guys for tuning in. As I said, I hope you enjoyed this card showcase, and I will see you next time. Bye!